A lot of stocks have taken a beating. People call this a correction. Some people call it a crash. I guess it just depends on which sector you had most of your money in. Anyhow, today we're going to be talking about NIO. We're going to be talking about NIO specifically and interest rates. How will these new interest rates or higher interest rates affect NIO stock? What price should you be buying NIO at? We're going to discuss that. We're going to be talking about Tesla in comparison to NIO. We're going to be talking further about a market crash and what you need to do during a market crash. And to make this even more fun and exciting, I've got my friend Chris from Spot On Analysis. He is a fundamental guy that covers NIO and pretty much covers NIO only at this time. So I've brought him on the channel to talk to you guys about what to do in these types of crazy volatile situations, and we're going to talk about all this stuff I previously mentioned. You're not going to want to miss this, so stick around because we're going to be starting right now. Hey, what's going on? It's Pat from Top Ticker Trades. If you're new here and you want to learn how to use stocks and options to make your portfolio go parabolic, make sure you start now by subscribing and tapping that bell so you never miss an upload. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to smash that like button. We've got no time to mess around today, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we got Chris here today, and I'm going to ask Chris a few questions, so guys, pay attention. Anyhow, the first question, Chris. So once the stimulus passes in the House, what can we expect, or how can we expect this to affect the stock market?
Well, Pat, first off, I want to thank you for having me on your channel. It's always good to hang out with you.
Hey, I love you here. You know, we love to have you on our channel, and, you know, we want to see you back again in the future. So I hope that you like us as much as we like you.
Oh, I tell you, it's a blast to be on here. Yeah, so everybody saw, you know, what's going on in Washington with the stimulus. And basically, you know, once it passes, we can kind of look at an influx of cash into the market. It's hard to determine at this point how much of the 1.9 trillion will actually be liquid into the market. You know, everybody has pork in there, but once it gets in, what we're looking at is a multiplier effect from a macroeconomic level down. So we may have 3, 5, 10 time multiplier in GDP. And once you start getting the gross domestic product up, now it's time to reevaluate models, because all of these companies have sales forecasts based on GDP, which is what is used to value these firms. So once that increase incrementally, all of these firms will be readjusted. So we're looking at a lot of stock market volatility in a good way because of the reevaluations and the market settling. So I'm looking for some positive growth numbers coming out once the stimulus passes.
That's definitely good news, because I know a lot of my viewers have been concerned, especially what's been going on with the market lately. You know, people are wondering, is there going to be a crash? Is there going to be a correction? And I think we did definitely see a correction. And I think that we saw a crash in some sectors. And this was very scary for a lot of people, because a lot of people that are following this channel are people that are investing in growth stocks. These are also people, and myself included, that are investing in penny stocks, or at least in some of them. So this was kind of scary for some people, especially those that are heavily relying on margin. But anyhow, I think the next question that we have for you, Chris, is, you know, we know that you're a model guy, okay, and we're going to get into more of that in just a second. But what we want to know right now is, how would an analyst adjust their models for a stimulus package of this size?
When it comes to models, the first adjustment would be the growth of GDP relative to sales and what you have the security priced at. So as you see an increase in the GDP, which trickles down to an increase in your piece of the pie. All of these firms in a said industry, say you have 5 firms in an industry that generates $1 million, and GDP goes up 5%, so each piece of that pie is increased. So an alternative decreased when, you know, we have fears about the economy. So when it goes up, we'll readjust and see how much more of this pie we can get based on GDP. So I'm really excited about getting this thing passed and seeing how much adjustments I can make.
Exactly. Look, I'm excited about this as well. I know everybody that's probably listening right now is very excited about it because after all the volatility, the negative volatility that we've seen, I know that people are ready for some relief. And this, I believe, may be the answer that everybody is waiting for. This may be the answer to these stocks that we're holding going back up to where they were. And that's another topic for another video. But what I wanted to talk to you today about, Chris, or that I wanted you to touch up on slightly, is NIO. Now, for all their listeners today that aren't subscribers, that don't know who Chris is, now he has been on the channel with me before, but for those of you that don't know, Chris covers NIO. He covers every last thing that happens with NIO. I myself am very interested in what he's got to say because recently, as a matter of fact, it was Friday, I bought an extra 1,000 shares of NIO because I just couldn't resist at the prices that we saw NIO at. It fell down to, below the actual support, down to about $30, the $32 range is where I got it, where I bought in at, which wasn't the very bottom, but it was pretty darn close. And right now, or it closed at close to $38, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I know that in the after hours, it hit $38.80, which I'm very excited about. And, people have mixed feelings about NIO, which a lot of my subscribers actually, hold a NIO or are wanting to get into NIO, buy more shares. We talk about it. We've talked about it in other videos. I see it in the comments. So I'm glad to have you on to where you could kind of, give us a little bit more guidance on NIO, on what you expect to happen in the near future, where you see it going. Is it safe to buy NIO right now? I mean, what do you suggest?
Well, it's always exciting to talk about NIO. And as you guys probably know now, that's all I cover is NIO at the moment. But to get to your question, I want to just, give an example. Let's say you have a pickup truck and the starter went out and you know exactly what's wrong with the pickup truck. So you may go and get all new tires. You may get new seats. That's nice. It's fun. But it's really not going to do much for the starter. The truck is still down. And I say that to say this about NIO. When you really understand what is wrong with NIO right now, and you understand that as a growth stock, 80% of its value is in 10 years, from now. So if you release a stimulus check right now, $1,400, we're not going to go out and buy a NIO vehicle. Most of us not. Some of you may. But the majority of us will not. So it will be nice. What I expect to happen may be some correction, but I expect maybe some day traders, some people getting in and out, maybe some options. I expect that action to pick up, but the real, investment firms, they haven't left. Vanguard still intact. Bank of America still intact. All the big players in NIO, we're not shaking. They never left. The only people that left were the day traders. Like, I'm still there because people who really understand NIO know that this is a long game. I would not recommend NIO for someone who just want to pop in Monday, pop back out Tuesday. These guys are on the long haul. You can go back. I did a video last week about how the Tesla journey, and we looked at it through the last 10 years and how they kind of hung around 50, 20, 50, 30, 40, and then they just kind of took off. And this is the same story, different company. So we've seen this before. It's a lot of data, a lot of evidence out there. So there may be some, slight volatility with some of the small guys, but if the institutional investors are there, they are comfortable, they are ecstatic with NIO, I feel like I am too.
So another thing, and this is a little bit unrelated, but it's something that came up while you and I were talking earlier off the record. and I thought that maybe some of my subscribers might find this, well, interesting. We were talking about Elon Musk. We were talking about how he's kind of a go-getter, and you brought up some stuff about Ben Lee that I really wasn't familiar with because I don't really keep up with Ben Lee like that, but I know that you do. Can you tell my subscribers how Elon Musk and Ben Lee are similar?
The work ethic. These guys, a lot of us listening right now know Elon woke up richest man in the world. And Ben Lee is no scrub. He's no Elon, but he's no scrub. But these guys, I'm not sure when you'll listen to this video, but if you call Elon Monday morning, he's going to be at work and he's worth $100 billion. So these guys are relentless. They don't care. They are, Elon's working 22 hours a day and worth $100 billion, multi-billion, the richest man in the world. And they will not stop. And I see a lot of that in NIO's on. I mean, this guy's 40 years old, multi-billionaire. They're young, they're energetic, and they are intense. And they have a radar on succeeding. And, I'm just going to ride it with them, Pat.
All right. So, in other words, you see Ben Lee kind of, well, there's a lot of similarities between Ben Lee and Elon Musk. Would you say that's fair?
I would say it's fair. It's a lot of things you can buy with money, but a work ethic is not one of them. And these guys have it.
I know that's right. So, can we expect, and I know we're not going to hold you liable for this if it doesn't happen, but in your opinion, is it likely that NIO will follow along the same path that we see Tesla on right now? Or do you think they'll be more successful? How do you see NIO in the future in comparison to Tesla?
One of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of people make, I see it on the message boards and YouTube, is to compare NIO and Tesla where they don't have the same strategy. And what I mean, to give you guys an example, you look at Walmart and Target. Now, Target does not compete directly with Walmart. They share customers, they may share products and similarities. But Target learned a long time ago what Kmart failed to learn, is that there can only be one guy as a low-cost leader. And Tesla has that market sold up. So they're going to have different margins, different strategies, different costs. He's going to spend more heavily on R&D. And people really need to understand the makeup of this industry, but when you start to try to put valuations on these companies, is that these guys are basically Cadillac and Chevrolet. So they are aware of Tesla. Of course, Tesla is in China right now, but they have zero worries. They do not compete for the same customers, and they are similar companies, but they're on two very different paths.
Well, that's very interesting to know. Tell my listeners a little bit about this correction, or would you call it a market crash? How do you feel about it?
I feel really good about it, and and I really want to touch on this point with your listeners, is that a market crash per se is nothing to run from. If we did not have market crashes, we would not make any money. So, and a lot of you guys that were around, I certainly was around in 08 in the market when it crashed. Had it not been for that recession, a lot of people wouldn't be able to retire on time. We need dips like that. And when you see a dip, instead of crash, what you need to think about is a sale. And I tell everybody this, the stock market is the only thing that can go on sale, and people run. So, I strengthened my position in a lot of stocks that I felt real good about, and kind of hunkered down. We need these dips to grow. If you only buy NIO at $60, you're not going to make any money. If it stays at 60, you got to get a few shares to lower that average. You got to get a few at 20. You got to get a few at 5. And you got to try to get it. Like, we don't want the stock forever. We want to accumulate and then sell it back. So with that being said, it's important that you can't let a crash go by. You have to capitalize on it. You have to hammer these crashes. They don't happen all the time. And once the market does, air quote, correct, you'll be in a really good position. If you felt real good about the firm before, you should feel good after.
You should feel much better after, in my opinion. You know, I took advantage of this last correction or dip, whatever anybody wants to refer to it as, but I took advantage of it. I deployed a lot of capital that I've been holding on the sidelines. I know some of you may not have been as fortunate, but I hope that this, taught you a lesson. You have to keep cash on the sidelines. Take a little bit from each of your winners if you insist on just holding. Put it to the side and then deploy it at the appropriate time. Chris, is there anything else that you want to tell them about NIO that you can think of right now?
I am in the works. Everybody's been talking about the JAC collaboration. I am putting together something on that tonight that I'll get right back on when I finish with you guys. But one of the things that I noticed about watching some videos, this is nothing new. This is not a new company. So I think it's going to be real exciting to kind of introduce JAC to a lot of your listeners and my listeners, and how far back they go. These guys been around since the 60s, so well before NIO. So we're going to take a look at them. Volkswagen's involved, Hyundai's involved. So it's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of contracts they've got. We're going to bring them all out. We're going to put them in chronological order, and we're just going to have a lot of fun with it. Like I said, all I do is NIO, so I get to dig deep and have a little bit more fun than someone who's out doing a few more shares than what I've got going on.
And we certainly love it. We love the fact that you only do NIO, because a lot of my listeners, a lot of my subscribers, they love NIO as well. So guys, you heard it here. Those of you that didn't know, that aren't familiar with Chris and what he does, the name of his channel, he goes by the name of Christopher Carter, which is his real name, and he's on Spot On Analysis. You can also follow him on Twitter. And of course, you can find all that information in my description, which is below, so don't be afraid to use it. Also, don't forget to smash the like button on this video if you appreciate the content. I've been working extra hard for you guys lately, so I hope it's much appreciated. While I have you here, I wanted to quickly tell you about the brand new First Trade app, available for mobile or PC. The platform will give you access to powerful and easy to use tools and allows you to trade with less restrictions, zero commissions, zero fees, and you can use the first link in the description below to download a free stock today without having to deposit any money. This will greatly help out the channel and is always appreciated. And now back to your regularly scheduled programming. Congrats, ladies and gentlemen, you've made it to the end of the video. If you like what you watched, make sure you subscribe, because I put out videos just like this one every single day. And please do me a favor and smash that like button if I helped you in any way, because it really goes a long way in helping the channel out and keeps me motivated to make videos every single day. Now, there's a lot of work involved, a lot of research, and a lot of time and effort into editing and putting these out daily for you guys. You can subscribe from your screen right now, or if you want to watch one of my other videos, I'm sure YouTube has some good content picked out for you on the left-hand side of your screen now. Thanks for sticking it out with me till the end, and I will see you guys in the next video.